in the lust thereof. Why? Why, brother preacher? Neither yield you your members as instruments of unrighteousness to sin. Why? But yield yourselves to Yah as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness to Yah. If that's not works, I don't know what it is. For sin, right, shall not have dominion over you. What is sin? Transgression of the law. So,
I was going to say it doesn't have dominion over you if you, as the previous verse said,
right. Because the dead flesh cannot rule because it's dead. It can't speak. It has no power. So sin won't have dominion over you. Why? Because you have crucified the flesh and its affections and lusts. And when you do that, you are not under the law, but you are under the word grace.
Under what? Penalties of the law.
Okay, right. So we look at this word under, hupo. Under in with genitive or place, beneath. Aha. So that has a different meaning now. So you are not beneath the law, but you are congruent in the law. In other words, you are obedient to the law. Right? And so this phrase here, you got to break it down. But under grace, yes, we're not under the law, we're under grace. Okay? So we're going to break it down. The word for grace is, are y'all ready for this? Y'all not ready for this. Charis. Graciousness, as gratifying, or manner, or act, abstract or concrete, literal, figurative, or spiritual. Oh, so grace is spiritual. Divine, especially the divine influence upon the heart and its reflection in the life, including gratitude. See that? So grace is works, because grace is the impartation of Yah's nature in you that influences your heart and reflects in your life. So grace is not what you think grace is. Grace is, oh, he'll give you something you don't deserve. That's the Christian definition. Grace is God giving you something you didn't deserve. No. Grace, by definition, once again, it is the divine influence upon the heart, the mind. So the mind is renewed. Something you said earlier, the mind is renewed. Be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. So the mind is renewed not after. It's just like the covenant. The law is put into our mind. That's the renewal. The renewal is when your mind is renewed with every word that proceeds out of Yah's mouth. So when that mind is renewed, then that mind is influenced by the nature, the character, and essence of Yah that reflects his character in manifestation, which is what the world calls glory. We say kabod. So grace is internal, not external. Does that make sense? Grace is an impartation, right, into the mind. I will write my law in their minds, right? And when the law is written in the minds, he said, this book of the law shall not depart from my lips, but thou shalt meditate upon it day and night, right? That you might observe to do, what that do again? All that's written in the book of the law. So that's that grace or charis or Cain in Hebrew, which is the impartation of the nature of Yah that comes through you and shines, which is the express out image of what's been imparted in the mind. We say heart, mind, the inner man. Right? So what we come to conclude is that, using my wife's phraseology, we've continued to regurgitate hand-me-down teachings that are wrong. But when we read the text and not read into the text, and we study the text, we see that Paul, his language is congruent with Torah. But when you read it in the English that comes from the Greek text, it gives you a whole new mindset, as if grace is something new. And it's not. All right? So apparently I covered one of the main ones. One more, I'm going to close with this one here. For by grace are you saved. Ephesians 2. Ephesians 2 and 8. All right, Ephesians 2 and 8. Told our Rabbi, Andre said, you break these scriptures down really good, Moray. Told our Rabbi, hallelujah. Breaks it down to proof of what grace is, Moray. Grace is spiritual walking in Ahaya, Imuna, and covenant with God's law. Right. That's it. All right, now, here's a favorite one here. This is, I went to a church in Philly years ago called Christian Stronghold. Christian Stronghold, that was the name of the church. And this is what they was pushing. That was like, interesting, right? All right. So you're not saved by works, but you're saved because, see, they believe that you once saved, always saved. You never can lose your salvation. Okay. For by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Elohim, not of works, lest any man should boast. For we are his workmanship, created in the Messiah Yeshua, and unto good works, which Yah have ordained that we should walk in them. So in other words, out of all you said, you just ended it by saying we should walk in them. He have ordained, it says, Yeshua unto good works which Yah have ordained. So this, what Yeshua, the good works that Yeshua, it says, for you are his workmanship, created in the Messiah Yeshua unto good works. Isn't that a contradiction?
What it was saying in verse 8, if you keep reading,
Right.
Ordained that you should walk.
Right. So a question will be, what is the good work? Because if this is used to say we don't have to keep the law, we're saved not by works, lest any man should boast. It is a gift of Yah, not a works, lest any man should boast. But he turns around and says, for we are his workmanship, created in the Messiah Yeshua unto good works. What good works then? If we're not saved through works, then what Why is there need for me to have works? Well, that answers because it's just confirming what you just said, which Yah have before ordained that you should walk in them. So you can pull that out, walk in them, right? All day long. Look at that. Look, see how it's like Google search, right? I put walk in them, right? Right, right. So now when you look at Exodus 16:4, it says, then Yah unto Moshe, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out, gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. So he said, as you were foreordained to walk in them, which we just read Ephesians. Walk in what? Walk in my law or no. How about Leviticus 26:3? Look at this one. If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, right? He made a promise. All right. What was the promise? Then I will give you rain in due season, and land and yield her increase, and trees of the field shall yield their fruit. Okay. How about that? How about this one? We can go all day and do this all day long. For if you shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you to do them, to love Yah, your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to cleave unto him. Let's finish that out. Then will Yah drive out all these nations from before you, and you shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourself. Isn't that something? All right. How about this one here? It's 1 Kings 6. Concerning this house which thou art in building, if thou wilt walk in my statutes and execute my judgments and keep all my commandments to walk in them, then will I perform my word with thee, which I spoke unto David thy father. So we can say, without going any further, that when he was talking about in Ephesians, what was that, 2:8 was? Ephesians 2:8, walk in them, that you should walk in them. Right, 10, Ephesians 2:10. That the walk in is talking about walking in his law, for which Yah have ordained that we should walk in them. So what did Yah ordain? We just read it. He ordained his law. So even when you put the spin on Shaul Ephesians, it's clear that Shaul was not saying what Christendom have indoctrinated you to believe that Shaul was saying about the law. I'll show you one more, and we'll close out with this one. All right. We're going to go to Acts. This is Paul. Shaul. As Moreh Eliyahu says, Lo Saul.